I'd like to start off with this quote I enjoy. Maybe you've heard of it. Judge me by my size, do you? Now, if you saw this on an SAT test, which multiple choice answer would make this sentence most grammatically correct? Okay, I'll admit, this is silly. Yoda didn't need a standardized test to prove he understood the complexities of life, and neither do I. Yet I spent my childhood learning to do well on the STAR test so my teacher could earn a decent salary and my school could receive funding. Now, every teenager in the country will groan at the mention of the SAT or the ACT, and close to none will have any other encounter with them unless their kids take it too. Now, I didn't choose to master identifying the main point of a passage or the quadratic formula, and while I understand these are important skills, they seem rudimentary compared to the kind of understanding I want to have of the world. I, like many of my colleagues, feel lost. But maybe we wouldn't be so lost if we were given a time and a place to explore our interests. I've known two communities that have dramatically shaped my own and many more people's lives and have given students that opportunity to find their true passion. One is the educational system in the country of Finland, and the other is an experience for high school sophomores, juniors, and seniors called a semester school established here in the US. As for Finland, the fundamental difference is that there is one standardized test called the matriculation exam taken at the end of high school, whereas students here take an average of 113 standardized tests from elementary to high school. It makes you feel cheated, right? How come I had to take that STAR test in 5th grade while the Finnish students were off playing during their 75-minute recess with no homework? I know, I made you a little jealous there. Here's the logic behind their method. The young students in primary and lower secondary education spend just above 6,000 hours in compulsory instruction, allowing them ample time to learn from authentic experiences, while US students spend around 9,000 hours in school. While the students are out of school, the teachers are busy planning lessons, making every minute of class time one of preparation and productivity, and allowing their curriculum to include subjects such as philosophy, environmental science, home economics, and ethics, along with 2 required foreign languages and all the basics covered here in the US. Almost none of the curriculum is developed for strict use on the national level, nor is it influenced by any private corporations. Standardized tests are subsequently replaced by individual qualitative feedback and real examples of students' work and capabilities. If that's not convincing enough to show how well their system works, take a look at the OECD rankings. These are the results from the PISA, a test administered by OECD to measure the proficiency of education systems in 35 countries. Now, as you can see here, Finland's scores are much higher than the US's in every category except for anxiety, which one would hope to be lower, right? And while their test scores have decreased in the past couple of years, they're again making reforms to their system, showing that they're unafraid to take chances in light of a better educated public. Now, for a solution, which to me is experiential education, and it consists of 2 components. The first being the student's physical encounter with the subject, which will inevitably be unique from anyone else's experience, and the second is the student's reflection, which allows them to develop a conclusive statement on what they learned. Tangible interactions make a student more likely to remember and learn the material. I know this to be true because I had this experience myself. At Coastal Studies for Girls, a semester school I attended in Maine last spring, we conducted a month-long research project on relevant marine ecology issues. On top of that incredible achievement, which would have been impossible for me had I not gone there, I also took an AP exam on environmental science. The semester of APES here in the fall and the in-depth marine ecology education I received in Maine allowed me to achieve a high score on a standardized test without being directly taught towards it. My success and the success of the Finnish high school students on the PISA is enough to show me the proficiency of an education free from standardized tests. Now, I have one major grievance with the education system here, and that is our education seems to be written for us instead of by us. Now, experiential education and the independent projects that come with it would allow students countless opportunities to pursue their own interests. So maybe someone going into a bachelor's degree program in nutrition, like me, wouldn't have to start off from square one in college. Another problem is that without the development of a well-rounded person in our education, and with the sudden emergence of the internet, our generation seems to have resorted to maybe less productive hobbies, such as Googling memes or vines like this one here up in the corner. But maybe instead we could grow up in a society where students are encouraged instead to look up the new issue of National Geographic or the Amateur Astronomical Association, instead of stressing over the tests created by these 4 companies that dominate the test-taking industry. And maybe it is too late for our generation to receive the time and attention needed to create such change, but that shouldn't keep us from fixing this issue for everyone else to come. We could bring education in this country to such a high standard that students in younger generations could easily ponder the following questions from Finland's matriculation exam. Has your body become your hobby? Choose 3 world religions and compare the role and use of a holy image within them. In what sense are happiness, good life, and well-being ethical concepts? Don't worry, I don't really know how to answer these questions either. I say ditch the standardized tests, because as we have seen, they cause undue stress and fall through when the narrow slit of information covered is not needed. What I'm not saying is that experiential education is for everyone, and who knows, it might not fare so well. I'm also not saying we should adopt everything that Finland has, because we have a vastly different culture from them. But I am saying we need to give something a try. If we took some chance, then maybe the lyrics to the Jimi Hendrix song, Are You Experienced, could have a whole new meaning for one's life and true passion. Thank you.